Hi everybody. This is Powered Up, my little YouTube show that I'm trying to do. It's pretty much just for helping people work on bikes and cars and whatever they want to work on. And I've had a lot of years experience, and I just want to help and share. So
Yep.
this is my assistant today, and we're going to show you about some basic electrical stuff. So let me see that, baby. I'll hold that there so everybody see it. Hopefully you can see that somewhat.
Some way.
This is a circuit diagram, very simple one. So if you can't see it, that's okay. It's hard for me to see because of the glare.
Me too.
Basically, we have a power source. These are all the components. There's not very many. Power source, of course, you have wiring, which is its own little source or component. So you got power. Here's a wire. It's red. It goes to the switch. That'll be your next component. And then the next thing it'll go into is your load. And a load is pretty much anything that requires electricity. Pretty much light bulbs and things like that are the most common loads that we have. And then it goes to ground. And you need all these components to complete a circuit. Let's see. So,
Wait, I'm not your assistant. I'm your daughter.
you're my assistant today, and you're my daughter. Yes, you are. Okay. Couple things about this diagram. One, it's partly a lie because the light bulb is on and the switch is open. It's not closed, so it's actually a lie. Also, electricity is said to go in a circle and has to complete a circle. This diagram shows it in a square, so it's technically a lie, but it also works. So on to our tools. This is a very simple light tester. Basically, this is your load, this is your ground, so you need a power source, and it basically proves that you have power. And sorry, I'm not in the picture. Basically proves that you have power. And it can sometimes prove that you have a good ground. It doesn't give you a reading like a multimeter, but we're going to show you a few things on the multimeter too.
Oh, and also it's really weird. It was raining a lot and then it turned back to not raining a lot, and it's crazy. And when I opened the door, it was really light out.
Don't let the light in. We're still recording. Okay. I want you to do this. You're going to find a good ground, which is anything metal, and this light should light up. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, you can. So anywhere on the bike that has exposed metal and is not painted will cause this light to light up as long as you're hitting a power source, which I am. I actually have the battery exposed, and I'm hitting a power source right now. As you can see, it lights up. So it's a really good tool. It works in reverse also. You can put this to the power source and this to a ground, and it'll also light up. And sometimes if you're working off of the battery and on other components, you'll have to do that. It's a good test. Do the next good test that I wanted to share is on this multimeter. Just drop this down. So this is a multimeter. This is a little bit fancier one than most. You can get a really simple, cheap one at a lot of the parts stores and tool places. You don't have to get a fancy one to do a lot of these tests. It's set to ohms right now. So ohms basically verifies that you have a complete circuit. Can you hold that, baby?
Yeah.
Hold it close to the screen so hopefully they can see it.
You can see the numbers?
The nice thing about this is that you can basically verify that your tool's working, and also you can see how it works. So as you can see now, it says OL. That means that there is not a completion of a circuit, but since this has its own power source in a battery with readings, you can see once you touch these together, there's a reading, and it's showing you that there's a connection. And that's pretty much what you're testing when you're on the bike or car, whatever you're working on. So today we're on a bike, and we're going to verify that it has a good ground. So I'm going to touch it to the battery ground, and I'm going to touch it to a part of the bike. We'll try this. which is the exhaust. As you can see, it reads. And your bike should be completely grounded. Anything that doesn't have paint on it and is exposed should have a good ground for you to work off of, or if you need a good ground. So our next thing that we are going to do, not going to do the basic voltage because most people can figure out that stuff. Of course, there's good tests for that also, using those. But this is probably one of the more common things people have is they have bad grounds and bad connections. So you want to hold that. And so as you can see, we're back on the ohms, but this has a specific setting for the beeping, for a beeper. And same thing, if you touch it, now you can hear it, which is also nice because if your eyes aren't able to look at two things at once, or if it's dark, or if wherever you're sitting doesn't allow you to look at the meter very well, you can still figure out that something's either not working or working well. So we'll do that again. We'll check for the ground. And it has a good ground. And also, the nice part of it about this is when you're checking connections, you can just check a basic wire connection to see that if the wire's broken. And which is really a test. Because sometimes you're like, I'm sure that wire's bad. And majority of what you're doing when you're working on wiring is proving something failed so that you can replace it. Because the last thing you want to do is replace a bunch of stuff you don't have to. So here's this big pipe that's sitting up, and I can show you that. Say this is a wire, and it's broken in the middle. Obviously, you wouldn't complete a circuit, but if you're at either end of the wire, you're going to hear that it's complete, which means it's probably a good wire. So it's another good test. I think that's the basics. If you don't know anything about wiring, you're going to want to know that basic stuff. Of course, there's a lot of...
Do we just put this down?
We can just put it down. Yeah. There's a lot of difficult stuff about wiring, a lot of frustrating stuff. But once you learn the basics, you're kind of ahead of the game. You can start figuring things out and learning. You can understand what other people are telling you when they're suggesting things. And so knowing your tools is important. Knowing your bike or your car is important. And just kind of understanding the basics so that you can kind of start. And the majority of the time you're going to find you have a bad wire, a bad ground, or a bad load. And fortunately the loads can get expensive. Wiring can be cheap sometimes, and cleaning a ground is the most inexpensive thing that you could do. So hopefully this helps, and stay tuned for other stuff that we do.
Oh, and also, if you want, you could do what we're doing.
That's right. You can put videos out, and Storm is going to try to put some videos out and do some fun stuff, and we're trying to enjoy the power of the internet. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Aloha.